Hi, I'm Patrick Reagan. Welcome to the Network Routing and Routers, Part 4, Router Redundancy and Miscellaneous Topics. In this video, we continue our discussion of routing and routers with a focus on how to make a router infrastructure more fault-tolerant using First Hop Redundancy Protocols. It also discusses virtual IPs or VIPs and subinterfaces. As always, stick around for the practice questions at the end to test your knowledge and help you prepare for the Network Plus exam. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button, and if you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Has Your Back channel for more tech training content and technical know-how. A First Hop Redundancy Protocol, or FHRP, is a type of protocol used in computer networks to ensure high availability and redundancy for the default gateway in a network. In a typical network setup, the default gateway is a single point of failure, which means that if your gateway router goes down, hosts on the network will lose access to external networks, including the internet. FHRPs are designed to solve this problem by allowing multiple routers to work together to provide redundant gateways. If the active router, the primary gateway, fails, another router automatically takes over as the new default gateway without any disruption in service. This ensures that network traffic can continue to flow even if a failure occurs. Some First Hop redundancy protocols include Hot Standby Router Protocol, or HSRP, which was developed by Cisco, allows multiple routers to participate in a virtual router group. One router acts as the active router, the current default gateway, while others are in standby. If the active router fails, a standby router takes over, making the failover seamless for end users. Virtual Router Redundancy Protocol, or VRRP, an open standard protocol and works similar to HSRP. It allows multiple routers to share a virtual IP address that clients use as their default gateway. One router is elected as the master router, and if it fails, one of the backup routers takes over the role of the master. Gateway Load Balancing Protocol, or GLBP, also developed by Cisco, provides both redundancy and load balancing. Unlike HSRP and VRRP, which allows only one router to be active at a time, GLBP allows multiple routers to share the forwarding load by distributing traffic across multiple active gateways. Common Address Redundancy Protocol, or CARP, is an open-source alternative to VRRP used in some BSD operating systems and Linux distributions. It functions similar to VRRP by providing a redundant, high-availability gateway setup for networks. In networking and routing, a virtual IP or VIP is an IP address that is not tied to a specific physical network interface, but is instead shared among multiple devices, typically for high availability, load balancing, or failover purposes. VIP allows multiple devices to share the same IP address. A VIP can move between different devices or be used by multiple devices simultaneously, depending on the configuration and use case. VIPs are used in redundancy and high availability. Virtual IP addresses are common use in high availability configurations where multiple devices such as routers, servers, or firewalls are set up in a group to provide continuous service. If one device fails, another takes over the virtual IP and continues handling traffic, ensuring uninterrupted service. Load balancing, or virtual IPs, are also used on load balancing systems. Multiple servers or routers can be configured to share a single VIP, and traffic is dynamically distributed between these devices. If one device fails or becomes overloaded, the system can redirect traffic to the other available devices using the shared virtual IP. Default gateway addressing is where virtual IPs are often used as the default gateway address in First Hop routing protocols. In such setups, end devices like computers or smartphones are configured to use the virtual IP as their gateway. The virtual IP then floats between the physical routers participating in FHRP, ensuring that traffic can always be routed even if one of the routers goes down. In routing subinterfaces are logical or virtual interfaces that are created on a single physical network interface, such as the router's Ethernet port. Some interfaces allows one physical interface to act as a multiple virtual interfaces, each with its own IP address and configuration. This is especially useful for the tasks like VLAN segmentation, inter-VLAN routing, and multiple protocol routing. For example, you can create multiple sub-interfaces on the port, on a router or switch, and then assign VLAN to each interface with its own IP addresses. Question. A network administrator requires redundant routers on the network, but only allows one default gateway is configured on a workstation. Which of the following will allow for redundant routers with a single IP address? Answer: VRRP. Question. A network administrator is configuring load balancing for two systems. Which of the following must the administrator configure to ensure connectivity during a failover? Answer: VIP. Question. You need to configure two servers to have the same public IP address. What should you configure? Answer: VIP. Question. Which of the following technologies provide a failover mechanism for the default gateway? Answer: FHRP. Question. You need to set up your network so that it can support VoIP phones, and the vendor requested that voice traffic be segmented from non-voice traffic. Which of the following would allow the organization to configure multi-link devices with network isolation with a single switch port? Answer: Subinterfaces. Question. You need to segment the network, logically separating the engineering and marketing teams in order to isolate the teams. However, the teams still need to access resources across the subnet, and the router has a single interface. Which of the following would you need to configure in order to allow the traffic? Answer: Subinterfaces. For more information, visit these sites. In summary, a First Hop Redundancy Protocol, or FHRP, is a type of protocol used in computer networks to ensure high availability and redundancy for the default gateway in a network. In networking and routing, a virtual IP or VIP is an IP address that is not tied to a specific physical network interface, but is instead shared among multiple devices, typically for high availability, load balancing, or failover purposes. Subinterfaces allows one physical interface to act as multiple virtual interfaces, each with its own IP address and configuration. Thank you for watching this video. The next video will be Network Routing and Routers, Part 5, Introduction to Cisco Routers. If you like this video, don't forget to click the like button, and if you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Hatcher Back channel. Thank you.